Okay, so last day we looked at figuring out points on a line whenever we were given the equation. Today we are going to be plotting a straight line graph whenever we have been given the equation. Okay, so you might be given an equation and then asked to plot the line. So the first thing we have to do is figure out some coordinates that are on the line. So we're going to be using those skills that we learnt last lesson. Okay, now it says here what we have to do, and a lot of the time people sometimes struggle with this idea because it's not a hard and fast rule what points you use, right? So we always make a table of values, and then from that table of values we plot the points, and then we join up the lines to form our straight line. Now we always choose 3 points, because if you just choose 2 points and plot them, you can always join those with a straight line even if one of them is wrong. Whereas if you plot 3 points and one of them is wrong, it's really obvious, and then you know to go back and check it. Okay, so you would never do this without doing at least 3 points. So this little row here is where we put our x coordinate, and then we use our graph, or not our graph, sorry, we use our equation of the line. So in this case here, in this example, it's y equals 2x. So we use that to figure out the corresponding y value, and then once we have that, this will be a set of coordinates that we can plot. Okay, now the question quite often is worded like this, where it says draw the graph of y equals 2x over the values -4 to 4. Okay, now that means our x-axis is going to have to go at least from -4 up to 4. Now we have to choose 3x values. Now everyone in the class could choose different values, but everyone's answer could be right. Because this is said from -4 to 4, I'm going to choose -4 and 4 as my 2 extreme ones. And it's actually quite easy a lot of the time to put in x is 0. And that makes it a little bit, it's just an easier one to figure out. So these are our x coordinates, and we have to, one at a time, figure out the corresponding y coordinates so that we can plot it. Okay, so I would do my working out off at the side somewhere. So my first one I said I'm going to use is whenever x is -4. So I just draw that out like that. Underneath that I write out my equation just like we did last day. So y equals 2x, and then replace the x with my x value, so -4. So instead of y equals 2x, I've got y equals 2 multiplied by -4. So that gets me y is -8. So these two come together to give me a set of coordinates, which is -4, -8. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Next one, whenever x is 0, again, start off by writing out my equation, y equals 2x. So y equals 2 multiplied by 0, 2 times 0 is 0, so my y coordinate there is 0. So another set of coordinates I'm going to be plotting is 0, 0. My last one is whenever x is 4. I've run out of room here, so I'll do it over here. Again, the equation of this entire line is y equals 2x. So I replace my x value with 4, and that gives me 8. So this is my third set of coordinates that I'm going to be plotting. Now I said a little bit earlier that a lot of the times people struggle with this, and some of you may be wondering where I got these values from. This is the bit that I was saying everyone could do differently. Like some people might choose -3, 1 and 2, and that would be fine. The points you would be plotting would be different, but your straight line will end up being the same. So for your notes, everyone will have the same as me, obviously, but in our classwork, some people might choose different points from each other, and that's absolutely fine. But your line graphs should end up looking the same. Okay, now we have to plot our graph. So let me just rearrange my camera so I can get the entirety of this graph paper in. Okay, so I've just about got it in. Now, the first thing we need to do is to draw our axes. Okay, so it's going to be easiest if we put our x-axis across the middle here. If we do it along the bottom, then we're not going to have any room to do our negatives in our y coordinates. So this is my x-axis. Now you'll notice I'm using a pen here, which I would normally give off at you for. I do want you using pencil whenever you're filling this in, but because I'm filming this video, the pen just shows up a little bit better on it. Okay, so that's why I'm using pen, but you should be using pencil. And then this is my y-axis. So we need to figure out our scale that we're going to use. So this is obviously the point 0, 0. This is our origin. And if we refer back to our table, our x scale has to go from -4 all the way up to 4. So I think a good scale to use here is if every one of these big squares, so 10 of the wee squares, is 2. Because that'll give me 2, 4 there, -2 and -4. And I could even put a wee line halfway for 1 and 3. Okay, you don't have to label every single point. You can if you want, it does no harm. But I'm happy enough with that. Remember, whenever you're doing scales, it is so important that you are consistent the whole way along. So the same number of squares representing 1 for the entirety of the scale. So that's our x scale. If we look back up at our table for the y scale, it has to be different because it has to go from -8 to 8. So it's a little bit more awkward, I suppose, to fill in here. So I reckon this time if we do every 5 squares is 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8. May as well almost mark on there to 10. Okay. And then -2, -4, -6. -8, and there's -10. Okay, so there's my scale. Nice and even and really clearly laid out. Remember, we label our numbers on the wee line. It's not like in the gap like in a bar chart. We'll label it on the line. Okay, let's plot our points. So the first point we figured out was -4, -8. Remember, the first number is always the x coordinate and the second number is the y coordinate. So -4 on my x, -8 on my y is going to be there. So I plot that with an x. My next one is 0, 0. So that's going to be right in the middle there. And then my next one is 4, 8. So 4, 8. Okay, so there's my 3 points. Now, all I have to do is take my ruler and join those up with a nice straight line. And this is what I meant earlier. If you are doing your classwork on this and you find that your 3 points don't make a nice straight line, then that's how you know you've done something wrong and you need to check one of your points or maybe 2 of your points. So you would go back and check them. Now, another good habit to get into is to always extend your line as far as you can on your paper. So in your classwork book, I would really just extend it to however far your axes go out. On this, in our notes, I just extend it to the edge of the graph paper. And one thing I want you to get into the habit of doing is to always label your line. So the name of this line is y equals 2x. So if you just write it beside your graph, then that's it labelled. And that means that any point on this line, the y coordinate is 2 times the x coordinate. So if we look here, the y coordinate is 4 and that's 2 times 2. If we look here, the y coordinate is 2 and that's 2 times 1. Perfect. Okay, let's look at the next example. Okay, so I'm on page 83 here, and this is actually example 2. It's labelled example 1, but it's example 2. So this time, this should say draw a graph of, let's fix that, y equals 3x plus 3. The wee y equals was missing there. So draw a graph of y equals 3x plus 3. This time, look, it tells you what x values to use. Remember, in the last one, it doesn't always tell you that. You just have to choose any numbers you want within the range they've given you. So this time we have to use the x values of -4, -1 and 3. And then once we've drawn our line, use our graph to find y whenever x is each of these. So we'll worry about that after. Let's figure out our coordinates for plotting first of all. So Whenever x is minus 4, and again I'll do my working out off at the side, the equation of our line is y equals 3x plus 3. So I rewrite it and I substitute in minus 4 for x. So 3 multiplied by minus 4 gives me minus 12 plus 3. Minus 12 plus 3 is minus 9. Okay, so minus 9. So minus 4 minus 9 is one set of coordinates that we are going to have to plot. Right, next, whenever x is minus 1, our line is still y equals 3x plus 3. We substitute in for x, so y is 3 times minus 1 for x this time. 3 times minus 3 gives me minus 3 plus 3. So that gives me y is 0. So my next set of coordinates is minus 1, 0. Last one I'll do over here. Whenever x is 3, y equals 3x plus 3. So this time x is 3, so I substitute 3 in for it. So many 3's in this one. 3 times 3 is 9. Oops. That gets me 12. So my last set of coordinates that I'm plotting are going to be 3, 12. Now again, we're going to have to figure out our scales. So if we look at the points that we have, our x scale is going to have to go at least from minus 4 up to 3, and our y scale has to go from minus 9 to 12. So this time it might not actually make sense for us to do 0, 0 right smack bang in the middle. So let's have a little look at it. Oh, flip, I maybe need to zoom out a little bit more, bear with me. Okay, so these aren't the easiest scales to work out, but let's look at our x-axis. We need to go from minus 4 to 3. So if I was to start here at minus 4, and let's say we did 2 for every square, that would be minus 4, minus 2, 0, 2, 4. So that is going to fit, but can I make it any bigger than that? So if I start here minus 4 and go every 1, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. No, I can't get as far as 3 in that one. So in our x scale, we're going to have to use 3 for every, or sorry, 2 for every 10 squares. In our y scale, we have to go from minus 9 to 12. So I'm going to count that as if I have to go from minus 10 to 12, because we don't like to go in odd numbers on these. It's just can get very confusing. So let's try 2's again. If I go minus 10, minus 8, minus 6, minus 4, minus 2, 0, 2. So I'm nowhere near getting up as far as 12. We'll try 4's. Minus 10, minus 6. Oh, 4's is awkward that way. What if 0 was here? Minus 4, minus 8, minus 12, 4, 8, 12. That's going to be the best way to work. So I'm going to draw my x-axis in here. Okay, again, you're using pencil. And I'm going to do my y up this way. So 0, 0 in the middle. And we said we were going to go in 2's here. So 2, 4, and I'll mark on where 1 and 3 is. Minus 2, minus 4. Okay, and then for our y-axis, we're going to be going in 4, so minus 4, minus 8, minus 12, 4, 8, 12. That's squashed up there. Okay, and again, I'll just mark on my new ones in between. In fact, I might actually label these ones. There we go, got there in the end. So let's start plotting our points. So minus 4, minus 9, minus 4 on my x-axis, and then minus 9 on my y-axis. Minus 9 is actually going to be here, which is a wee half a square down. So there's that one. minus 1 on my x-axis and 0 on my y-axis, and then 312, so 3 all the way up here to 12. Okay, so there's my 3 points. Join them with a nice straight line and extend it to fill the graph paper. Let's see. There we go. And you see how I'm being super careful setting my ruler down? I'm not just going mad and going for it. I'm making sure it's all lined up. Okay, and then remember we want to label it with the name of the line. And the name of this line is y equals 3x plus 3. So you just write it beside it somewhere. Okay. Now, that's not quite us finished because we had to draw the graph. But then do you remember up here, we also have to find y when x is minus 3. So to do that, we go to minus 3 on our x-axis, which is here. And then go down until we hit our graph. I do a dashed line. You can do a solid line if you want. And then go across. So that tells me whenever x is minus 3, y is minus 6. So this was number 1 up there. When x equals minus 3, y equals minus 6. So that's my coordinates that it gives me. And the other one for number 2 was asking us to find y whenever x is 2. So we do the same again. So we go to x is 2. We go up until we hit our line. And then go across. And read off what number that is. So this one's halfway in between 8 and 9. So it's going to be 9. Or sorry, it's halfway between 8 and 10, so it's going to be 9. So whenever x is 2, y is 9. So that gives us the coordinates 2, 9. Okay, so lots of graph drawing coming up. Hopefully you can follow that okay. Remember, you can rewatch and pause as we go to make sure you're getting your notes filled in properly. Okay, see you next time.